It's past a warning, okay? We can't get it back into the SBA, right? So now we have to deal with the Treasury. And that's where the problem, and I've seen too, a lot of people have been coming to my office with these letters, right? We can't get it, we used to be able to get it back into the SBA. That road has totally closed now. So you have to talk directly with the Treasury, you can make a payment plan, right? But the problem is once it goes into the Treasury, it's no longer 30 years, right? They want 10 years. And if you don't live in the city, it's just state taxes, right? That's going to be huge, huge for everybody. And that's why everyone's taking advantage of it. Every time I put the mortgage in, I'm seeing this refund number jump. The people who are really benefiting from this are those high earners that have those $900,000 mortgages. Okay, because they get all that interest.
There are another growing concern, SBA loan notices. Okay, so many small business owners who really fell behind during tough times recently, and now back on payments again, meaning they didn't pay for 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, and now they say, okay, you know what, now I'm going to start paying, and they started paying, and the SBA is taking that, right? But they're getting this notice. They're receiving these official letters or emails saying, from the portal saying that, hey, such and such, your case is referred to this and that. And they're not sure what it means. So my question to you, for these people, is it a warning sign? They should be considering it seriously? Or is it a collection step just or a routine communication?
No. Once it gets cross-serviced where Treasury's taking care of this, that's actually, it's past a warning, okay? We can't get it back into the SBA, right? So now we have to deal with the Treasury. And that's where the problem, and I've seen too, a lot of people have been coming to my office with these letters, right? We can't get it, we used to be able to get it back into the SBA. That road has totally closed now.
So you for whatever reason, you could not pay, now it started paying.
They won't take, the SBA won't take the payments. Once it goes into Treasury, SBA will stop taking your payment.
But what?
There's no way for Treasury to have your loan and SBA to take your payment.
Okay, let's take one step at a time.
Go.
So it goes to the Treasury. What happens then, and what would be your or someone's step in this scenario?
So if it goes to Treasury, that's the worst step because that means they can go after anything you own.
Okay.
All right? It's like owing the IRS money.
So how do you actually ratify these things?
So you have to talk directly with the Treasury. You can make a payment plan, right? But the problem is once it goes into the Treasury, it's no longer 30 years, right? They want 10 years. Okay. So imagine you couldn't make the payment over 30 years, right? Imagine trying to make it over 10.
Right.
So what happens now, right? You know you're going to default on it. They're going to take all your tax refunds to offset it, right? And if they figure out there's some fraud involved, they bought a house, did something with it, they can also go after that.
Okay, so this is a flashing red light. Flashing red light.
Yes.
And you can just get on a head-on collision.
Just throw it out so I didn't see it, right? It's not going to work that way.
Okay, so if that person goes to a CPA, what would you, as a professional CPA, what would you suggest this person to ratify this, and how quickly, and what would be the advice would you give to him?
So look, there's some other stuff going on with this, and they're trying to figure out if the SBA was even allowed to do this. Going on, but we're gonna know more around March where that's going to be. But right now, don't file taxes till this is solved. Because what's going to happen? Once you're on a payment plan or you're able to get it back in the SBA, whatever way this goes, we're then going to be able to say, okay, fine, we can file our taxes because they're not going to just take everything. Right? Other option is we could always file it, married filing separately, because that's another way to do it to protect that too. So it's a very complicated case. And I'd be more worried about people who owe more than $200,000.
So if you owe more than $200,000, you are in deep water.
Red flag.
Yeah, beyond red flag, deep water. If it is, regardless of how much you owe, it is a serious issue.
Correct.
Okay?
It's a very serious issue.
They can go after you, your properties, and they will shorten the loan from 30 years to 10 years.
And especially if they figure out, hey, what did you do with the money? That also can stop you even using bankruptcy to get away with it. I mean, it could be very bad.
Very bad. So anybody যারা এই SBA লোন নিয়েছেন এবং পেমেন্ট করেননি এবং এখন তারা নোটিশ পাচ্ছেন, আপনাদের কিন্তু সিরিয়াসলি একজন অভিজ্ঞ প্রফেশনাল এক্সপিরিয়েন্স সিপি এর সাথে বসতে হবে এবং এটার যত দ্রুত সম্ভব প্লিজ টেক কেয়ার অফ দিস। ইটস পসিবল টু টেক কেয়ার অফ ইট ইফ ইউ অ্যাক্ট নাও। ইটস নট লেট। I mean, it's late from the penalties and all these things from perspective.
They're adding an extra, say, $30,000, $40,000 to it.
To it, which is, it's a huge issue.
Plus, you got all the interest, all that stuff. But look, the hardest thing is people are going to have is not being able to make the payment. They weren't able to make the payment before, so why would they be able to make an accelerated payment?
Correct. Okay.
So, and then we'll see after March, probably after tax season, there maybe ways around this, but we'll see how that works.
Okay, let's focus on. And I have a very big uneasy feeling about this. I think a lot of people are in that shoe, and we start getting calls tomorrow. Don't be surprised, because I think this is one of those issues. I was actually anticipating that's going to happen sooner or later. People take it light, and then.
No, I knew this was eventually going to happen. They had to do something.
Yeah, it's going to be a snowball effect.
Correct.
It's rolling down the hill, and you will not be able to stop it.
Correct. And that's really what the problem is.
That's serious issues. SALT deduction cap is still there. I mean, it's much bigger than any other year. It's SALT.
Well, in the last couple of years.
Last couple of years, right? And so, are there any limitation or limiting property taxes deduction under internal IRS rules? Are the homeowners in high tax states basically penalized, or are they going to get the maximum this year?
Look, when it was 10,000, it was definitely everyone was getting penalized. It was huge.
10,000 till last year.
Correct. I mean, most people's property taxes, especially if you look around outside the city, it's over 10,000. So you're already at the
hands down.
Hands down, right?
Yeah.
But now it's 40.
Yeah.
Okay. So say your taxes are 15,000, right? So
let's
we're at 15, right? Yeah. So, but then also we have state, and if you don't live in the city, it's just state taxes, right? That's going to be huge for everybody, and that's why everyone's taking advantage of it. Every time I put the mortgage in, I'm seeing this refund number jump.
Flashing.
Yes.
Okay, so this is not a myth.
It's not a myth.
It's not a myth. It's a fact.
Yes.
And if you know how to deal with the numbers, go to a good CPA, you should be able to.
Yes. Now, if you have a very low mortgage balance, is it going to help you? Probably not.
Probably not, yes.
When I say low, like, okay, 200,000 euro.
In our community, I don't think anybody has less than $300,000
no.
Left, right? I'm just,
No, absolutely, you're 100% right.
Right. This is like a overly...
But the people who are really benefiting from this
yes.
are those high earners that have those $900,000 mortgages. Okay? Because they get all that interest.
Yeah, high interest.
High interest.
Right.
I mean, it's just like a ton of money is being shielded from taxes.
Correct, because your principal is probably $300.
Right, but I'm saying to you, say someone has, just for the easy numbers, right? Someone has $1 million loan,
yeah,
right? 7%, right? That's 70,000, right?
Correct.
And say their taxes are, say, 20. That means someone can make $90,000 on a W-2 and pay 0.
Can you repeat that again? I know it really sounds scary when you hear like $1 million.
So you have $1 million loan.
Loan, right.
Right, and at 7% interest, right?
7% interest, let's say.
So that's like $70,000 in interest, right?
Yeah.
So that, right? And say their taxes are $20,000.
Okay.
Easy numbers, right? That means $90,000 is your standard deduction without anything else.
Just like that.
Deduction, right? That means the first $90,000 is tax-free.
Okay. I'm not sure people are understanding this. It takes a little time to digest this, but it's huge.
Huge.
I mean,
because the $40,000 does not include interest.
Yeah.
And that's what people
So you're going to add up those interests too, and that's going to be high amount.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's how I got to the 90.
Oh, that's how you got to 90, 70% plus the interest.
Right.
Interesting. Really interesting. So I hope, আপনারা যারা শুনছেন, you bought a house, maybe close to $1 million. Maybe 7%, 8%, 9% interest rate, you have really high amount to deduct.
That's correct.
And the refund gets bigger?
Of course.
Yes. And that's the catch.
That's exactly what it should be.
That's the benefit, not the
exactly.
catch. Okay. So be careful. You are not dead in the water. And this is not only this year. 2026 is going to be like this. 2027 is going to, until somebody comes and overwrites this tax laws.
Or brings it back to
the previous ones.
Or even before, and there's no limit.
No, yeah. No limit was great. I remember.
I agree.
Yeah. The $10,000, I hated it. Who did that? Biden, right? Yeah.
No?
Trump. Oh, in his last term, 2016. I remember. This guy flip-flopped so much. But you know what? At least 40 is better than 10.
I agree.
40 is better than 10. It really killed me. I hated it so much because it just, tied my hands. behind my
anything.
back. There's not much you can do.
No.
10,000 is nothing
Nothing.
compared to what you pay as a property taxes
Correct.
and loans.
But the rest of the country, aside from California, doesn't pay that.
Well, California is high as it is.
I'm saying aside from you have New York, California,
Yeah,
right?
right.
They're not. Forget about Chicago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the rest of the country,
Such as Florida, such as Texas.
right? All these
they have no property taxes.
$4,000.
Yeah, a meager changes.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
So
Exactly.
it only impacts states that pays higher taxes and gives you higher breaks.
Those are the states he doesn't like.
Those are the states Trump doesn't like. How ironic,
Right.
you know? And then he's from one of those blue states.
Right.
Yeah, he's from Queens, by the way.
Yeah, right where my office is.
Right,
Right where my office
exactly.
is.
How ironic is this?
Yes.
It's strange.